Hi again, students. Roxy's back to tell you about your next lot of practical assessment. So welcome to session 2. You're all used to this now. You've all gone through session 1, so you know what to expect. You'll rock up on the day, you'll sign your declarations, and you'll jump right into it with your assessor. So during session 2, covering 2 days, you've got 4 assessments to complete, so 2 each day. They're a little bit different to what you're used to, but they are a lot of fun. So I hope it all goes well. So in total, you're looking at 2 days. Everyone attends both days, and you'll be doing 2 assessments on each day, so a total of 4. Okay, so you are going to be doing 4 practical assessments over the 2 assessment days. The first 2 are practical assessment 5. So I'll give you more information about what the actual assessment involves, but it is linked to communicate effectively with clients and team members and assess the welfare status of an animal. So if they're units that you have to do, you don't have credit transfer for, then you have to undertake this assessment in order to complete the assessable component so you can actually completely finish that unit and get your statement of attainment. Same goes for all of them. So practical assessment 6, this one covers your prepare and present information to the public. So if that's a unit that you're doing, then you have to go ahead and do that assessment too. Practical assessment 7 only covers enrichment. So if you need enrichment, go ahead with practical assessment 7. And practical assessment 8 just covers condition animal behaviour. Practical assessment 5 is probably the biggest assessment you'll be completing during this session, and it actually is divided into 2 different parts. Part 1 is done in a group and part 2 is done individually, so I'll explain them separately for you. So firstly, part 1 is your group assessment, and this is where you're going to be doing a welfare assessment on an animal. So basically, you'll go out into the zoo and listen to a keeper talking about that animal, and it'll be an animal that has either it'll have an assessment occurring, so whether it's an aged animal, whether it's got a long-term health issue, whatever the problem is, you're going to hear about that. You're going to watch the animal and record some of your own observations. So, you know, what do you see it doing? How do you see it moving around? Is its locomotion affected? Is its behavior affected in any other way? Is it, you know, withdrawing from a social group? Can it not climb in the same way? Can it not jump in the same way? Is it not feeding normally? Have a look, see what you decide, because you're going to use your observations to help you fill out the actual welfare assessment yourself. You're going to complete a welfare assessment on that animal from your own thoughts, and then in a meeting with your team, you're then going to look at what you individually came up with and discuss it with your team members. Now, part of this is linking to the communication unit, so you need to have a think about how you can get your thoughts across, how you can effectively listen to your teammates' thoughts as well, and then if there isn't a disagreement, how you can actually overcome that. So the way that you communicate effectively with each other, deal with any kind of problems that arrive, and then come up with a agreement that everyone is happy with. Okay, so you'll do that in a group, you'll come up with some suggestions for the animals going forward, and you'll also be explaining or presenting that information to your assessor and also an additional stakeholder, and they will be asking you questions about your outcome. So if you've come up with you need to do this, they might push you a little bit, ask you some interesting questions that you haven't thought of, ask you, if you do that, is there another implication? Will that affect something else? Okay, so really get you thinking about it. There's no really right or wrong answers to this. We'll see what each group comes up with and have some really interesting discussions around it. Okay, and then there's a couple of questions for you to answer once you finish that. That's basically the group part. Now, the second part of a practical assessment 5 is your individual part. And again, this links back to this part links to the communicate unit. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be given a scenario. So we'll hand that to you on the day. And then you have to have a conversation with your trainer. Okay, so your trainer is going to be the client. You are going to be the zoo representative. We'll give you a little bit of a tricky situation, and you have to kind of navigate your way through that, making sure that you cover all of those aspects from communicate effectively. So you can go ahead and look at this. It's all in Accelerate now, so you can have a look at the information, but you'll need to communicate in an appropriate and easily understood manner. You need to listen to the client to make sure that you are understanding what they're saying as well. You have to deal with emotive situations. So the scenario we give you is not going to be something nice, fluffy and easy. It'll be a little bit more challenging. You have to make sure you're following protocols for your zoo at all times. answer questions, but also collect relevant information, which you have to note down. And again, right at the end, go back into Accelerate and complete a couple of questions. And with this one, your trainer will actually be filling out an observation checklist for you. So everyone will do their own one. So once the group assessment's done, the trainer will pull everyone individually to complete this part of the assessment. All right, so once you've done both parts, A group and B individual assessment, you can go ahead and submit your evidence in Accelerate, so under PA5, or you can even do it as you go. There will be some time. So your welfare assessment is actually your spreadsheet with all your calculations. Make sure it's complete before you upload it. Your meeting minutes, making sure there is enough detail in those meeting minutes that if somebody who wasn't present came and read them, they would have a full understanding of everything that was discussed. That was the main thing that the assessors find we have to get resubmitted is the assessment, is the meeting minutes, because there's not enough detail. So just bear that in mind as you edit them before you upload them. And then you've got two lots of questions. One is about questions asked for your welfare assessment presentation, and the other one is questions asked about your scenario, your phone call with the client. Okay, so all in Accelerate, all under PA5. Finish that off, upload it, and you'll probably actually do, honestly, you can get that done before you leave the room. Okay, next up is your practical assessment 6. Now, this one is going to be so easy because you've already written it. You're bringing it with you, you're completely prepared, and that is your keeper talk. So you've already planned out your keeper talk. It was part of your theory assessment 2 from Prepare and Present Information. So you're going to have already completed this. You're just going to bring your talk with you. If you need anything, if you've got any props or anything, bring that with you as well. Make sure you've also prepared your answers to the media questions, because you will be asked one of those questions. I don't know which one, that's up to your trainer on the day. They'll just randomly ask you a question and you'll be assessed on how well you are prepared to answer that question. You're going to use presentation equipment, so we'll have you on a microphone, so it's a handheld microphone. So we'll get you talking into that, getting used to the feel of that. You will be on the microphone, you'll be talking. There might be public around, just depends what time you're doing your talk. So you just have to be respectful, answer any questions that are asked of you. You will be asked questions from your trainer and from your teammates or your classmates. Make sure you try and get a bit of participation with the audience as well. So this would have all been part of your planning anyway. You will have one of your classmates do a presentation feedback form on your presentation. So someone else besides the trainer. Trainer will do an OBS checklist, but one of your classmates will also do an evaluation of your presentation, and you will do an evaluation of someone else's presentation. Okay, so for every single person, you'll get your observation checklists, you'll get feedback and questions from your trainer, you'll get an observation, you'll get a evaluation or presentation feedback form from a teammate and get asked questions from your team, and you will do the same for another teammate during the talk. Does that make sense? That was a lot. But yeah, so everyone will take part in all of those aspects. And it's only a 5-minute talk, so please don't worry about it. And again, what is the evidence that you need to submit into Accelerate? Super quick for this one because you've already done it. Everything is already done. So you're going to have the presentation feedback form that a classmate did on you. So you can just take a clear photo of that and you can upload the photo. That is fine. Or we can scan it while you're at the zoo, whatever you prefer. You will upload the feedback form you did on a classmate. Again, they'll have to get a copy of that. So the 2 forms will get uploaded by you. And there's a single question, that you have to answer. Okay, super quick and easy, this one. Okay, practical assessment 7. This is a lot of people's favourite, so I hope you think so too. With this one, it's all about enrichment. This one just covers the enrichment unit, and what you're going to do, you're going to be given a species that's been booked in for your group. You are going to think about what's suitable for that animal. You're going to make up some enrichment. The enrichment you make up is already approved at the zoo. So you're going to make up some approved enrichment following proper instructions and following WHS considerations. You are going to watch your animals for a while to see what they're doing, and then the keeper will turn up and give them the enrichment.
Okay, then you're going to keep watching them to see what kind of behaviour change you get. And then you'll go back to the room and you'll talk about it with your group and you'll work on what you can actually improve. Okay, so to put it really simply, identify behaviours. So what do you want your animals to be doing? So how can you make them do that? So maybe promote natural behaviour, and you're going to do that through enrichment, hint, hint. You're going to identify the appropriate enrichment item, but we will actually have that, the type of item will already be prearranged for you, but you'll be able to explain why it's appropriate. You'll prepare the enrichment item. You'll watch the animal before and after you give them the enrichment item. You'll make observations, write down in a daily report about that, and then you're going to review and document modifications. So you're going to complete an approval form, and that approval form is going to be based on a new and improved item. So you're going to look at the item you gave and you're going to make it better. So again, what are you actually uploading? Just your daily report. So that's the same daily report you've used in PA 1, 2 and 3. You'll use it again in our last assessment session later in the year. So you're probably super familiar with it by now. But you're going to do a daily report and you're going to have behaviours in there of what you saw before, what you saw after the enrichment's given, and you'll also put a note that you gave them the enrichment and how they interacted with it. And then your animal enrichment approval form. Okay, so this is just an Accelerate for you to download, fill it out and upload it. So basically all you do is you'll make your enrichment item, you'll take a photo of it, stick that in your form, and then after you've watched the animal with it, you're going to determine what you can do to make it better. Okay, so your approval form will be for your new and improved enrichment item. And that's it, that's the only 2 things you need to submit. Look, I just wanted to pop this daily report in as a super quick reminder of how you fill it out. Just that's, you know, I don't want to have to get you to resubmit just for something minor. So just to have a quick look at it. The main thing we need you to do is make sure you use the correct code. Okay, so remember it is an Excel spreadsheet when you do get it out of it, download it out of Accelerate. On the bottom, you've got the 2 tabs. You can see they're circled. You've got the codes. If you click on that, it opens up to the blue writing you can see on the screen as well. And you can see it's got animal information, whether it's diets, whether it's behaviours. So you'll be making behavioural notes. You'll also put, well, depending on what enrichment. If it's food-based enrichment, you can put it under a diet note. Depends what it is. But you'll be making notes about how they interact with that enrichment item, and then obviously behaviour before and behaviour after. Okay, so please just make sure that you are completing that daily report correctly. I just hate sending them back. So that's just a little quick reminder for you. And again, you've used them before and you'll use them again in the next session. So just a quick reminder. Okay, so your last but definitely not least practical assessment you'll be doing is your prac assessment 8. So this one is all about conditioning. This is great. It's great for the trainer. Great one for us to watch. So you're going to be conditioning an animal. So we'll actually give you a printed out worksheet for this one. You can actually you can go and look at it in Accelerate, but we'll actually give you a printed copy. So you can complete it all on that printed copy. Your trainer will sign that printed copy. So if you do it neat enough, we can simply scan it and upload it as your evidence. So aim for that because it just cuts down the amount of work you have to do. So what are you going to be doing? You're going to be given a behaviour. You won't pick it. It's literally picking out of a hat. So we've got some pre-arranged behaviours. So your little behaviour card, you'll be given that behaviour. You're not going to show anyone that behaviour. That is just for you to look at. Don't show your partner. You'll be partnered up. You're going to answer some questions based on the behaviour you've been given. So just to think about how you're going to go about it. And you know, if your partner is capable of it, that kind of thing. Then you're going to complete a training and conditioning plan. It's just a quick basic one, but you'll look at like what your steps are. You are then going to train your assigned behaviour. So you're going to train your partner, and you'll have your trainer and assessor there watching, doing an observation checklist, which is in your little written document. So they'll be watching you do that. You're then going to do reporting requirements. So if you train your behaviour, you need to write down how the animal went. Okay, exactly the same thing we do as a keeper when we do training sessions. So you'll do your reporting. You're then going to answer some questions. So we've given you some questions. We want you to come up with answers for. And once you come up with those answers, you're then going to have a little interview with your trainer. We'll have a stakeholder there as well. So you're going to explain your answers, how you came up with them. They will also ask you some questions as well. So it might be on the information you've given, or it might be on your whole training plan, or it might be on just how it went. And then last but not least, some self-reflection questions. And these are really important because these help you understand what your animal's feeling and thinking. And that's really beneficial because then you're going to go away, and you might have already started, but you're going to go away and of course train your animal yourself. Okay, so these questions will really help get your head around what changes you might need to make to be as effective as possible and work as effectively as possible with your animal. Okay, so all of this will be done on the one document. Your trainer will be signing it a few times to show that the steps are completed. And you'll take that home with you. Just don't lose that document. In fact, you don't even have to take it home. We can scan it and upload on the day, and you can straight away put it into Accelerate as your evidence, because that's all you need to do. It's just that one document. So this assessment will be completed in full on the day. There's nothing else for you to do other than submit the document. Okay, so if you just do it as neat as possible, don't lose it. Scan it, upload it on the day. Assessment PA8 is done and dusted. Okay, what are you going to wear? Now, it's not as extreme. During your first assessment sessions, you were out in the zoo, you know, scrubbing things, raking things, hosing things, and probably got quite dirty. It's not going to be like that. Half of it will be in the classroom, but there will also be time out in the zoo. So because we are still out and about, we are around members of the public, we do ask that you still wear appropriate uniform. So your TTI top and, you know, your neutral colours, appropriate shoes, and look, it's going ahead, rain, hail or shine. So if you're out doing your keeper talk in pouring rain, you're out doing your keeper talk in pouring rain. I'll give you an umbrella, it's fine. But we will be going ahead regardless. We'll also be out doing observations of the animals for enrichment and observation and talk with the welfare. So you will still be out and about a bit, so please make sure that you do dress and bring appropriate equipment for that.
Okay, so what do you need to bring with you to complete all of these practical assessments? Bring a face mask, just always have one, especially because some of the animals may be COVID susceptible, and if you're making up food items for them, you may have to actually wear that face mask. Always have a pen and a notepad to make notes while you're out and about. Bring your laptop, because some of the work you can do directly onto your laptop. For example, the welfare assessment, we won't give you a printer copy, so make sure you have your laptop so you can actually input your figures and your numbers straight away to get that calculation. Bring your clicker. You're given it during the conditioning unit, so that was in block 4. I know you're in block 5 now, but block 4 you're given a clicker to use at home with your conditioning project. You will need that for PA8, so please make sure you bring it with you, or it's going to be very hard for you to complete. And then any other files. So if you have any assessments you're having trouble with, there is going to be a little bit of spare time for one of the trainers to catch up with you and go through any assessments just to get you up to date. So if there is any work, even any husbandry guideline quick questions, we'll have that in a future session, but any questions about husbandry guidelines, please go ahead and bring that information, and there'll be a trainer who will have a little bit of time to sit with you. Okay, so come prepared for that.
Yeah, look, same as we have for all the other APRAC assessments you've already done. You know this. Be willing to participate, come prepared, be respectful, listen to instructions, and bring the items that we've already mentioned. That would be great. And again, same as you did last time, you will sign your attendance and declaration sheet, just basically saying, yes, I'm going to be assessed, and yes, I was assessed. And yeah, we'll be observing to do those observation checklists. And again, we might even take a little bit of footage, some photos as evidence as well while you're going. So being in the zoo environment, regardless of what we're doing, safety is number 1. So exactly the same as what you're used to with your last prac assessments and with your practical placement. Listen and follow direction of keepers and your trainers at all times, especially if we're in an area that's not a public area. Only go where you're specifically told to go. Don't go touching animals. Maintain your COVID protocols. And of course, your biosecurity protocols at all times. And I know that you're all very well versed in all of those things now.
Here you can see the groups that your support officer has allocated you into. Now, it doesn't really matter which group you're in. Either way, you have to come to all the practical assessment days. However, this is just so you know what you are likely to be doing on each day, and that way you can come prepared. So remember, for example, PA6, you keep a talk, you have to come with your talk ready to go, and you have to have already practiced it before you get there on the day. So make sure that you do bring the right things and you know what to expect. But yep, rock up, know what you're doing, come at the right time, which is 8 a.m, make it nice and easy, and have fun doing your assessments. Okay, that's it. If you have any questions, you know who to grab. Okay, so your support officer's details are here, or you can contact me. But otherwise, if you want any more information on any of the practical assessments you're going to be doing, jump into Accelerate. Okay, those student instructions are always there, so please make sure you do have a look at them and you're ready and willing for your 2 practical assessment days for practical assessment session 2. Okay, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you find the assessments interesting and it helps tick you off a whole lot more units with your progression. You're over halfway now, way over halfway, so congratulations, and we'll catch you later.